Earlier this week, I dropped a video on how to cut a lapel collar shirt, and I promised to bring back the second part of the video. This second part of the video is actually where I'm going to be showing you the step-by-step guide on how you can actually pull up those patterns together to make it something wearable. And here is the video. But before diving into this tutorial, I would like to show you the results you're actually going to get at the end of this video if you actually follow me step by step. Now, take a look at these shirts. Look at it. Look at the finishing. Look at it. Check all the details very well. As you can see, this is actually a definition of luxury. Look at the sleeve. Check on the second sleeve as well. As you can see, look at the down parts. As you can see, the hemming was done by the taping machine. As you can see. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So I will grab my sleeve pattern, then I will fold to 1/4 inches, then I will gum it with my hemming gum. This, then I'll fold it just like this. I'll be using 2/4 inch. 2/4 inch is what I'll be using to fold it in, just like this. 2/4. Then I'll press it down. So after pressing it down, then I will input my hemming gum that I will use to gum it. So the reason why I'm actually doing it like this is because I want to be using a taping machine to do the hemming. So if you actually want to use if you don't have this taping machine, you can actually use your weaving machine to just weave the edge of your sleeve, and you come back and you actually want to weave it first before you gum it down. But as for me, and for this tutorial, I'm using taping machine. I'll just trying to gum it down very well. So once I do this, then I will do the same thing on the other sleeve as well. And once I do this, then I'll be working on my back pattern by applying my back effects. For this tutorial, I'm gonna be folding in 5 inches. Sometimes I use 4 inches, sometimes 5 inches, sometimes 5.5. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm using 5 inches. I will just try to iron it just like this, so that I will make sure that angle come out a little bit before taking it to the machine. And so if you actually want to know the reason why I'm applying my back effect, you really need to watch my first part of this video. So I've explained everything and the reason why I'm doing it this way. Now the next thing for us to do now is to start our sewing. But the very first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be hemming my sleeve. As you can see that this is my taping machine. Then I will start my sleeve hemming. I will hem the both sleeve before I go to the straight lock machine and start stitching up those patterns. So I'm going to be starting with from the first point, then I will run my stitch straight all the way down to the end point. I'm actually sewing on the edge of the the head that I gummed earlier on is what I'm actually sewing now, as you can see. So I will make sure this stitch is actually straight and precise, as you can see. So I will run my stitch all the way to the end. And if you actually want to learn how I end up in all the measurement that I use in cutting this pattern, you can actually go and watch my first part of this video before you come back and watch the second part. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is I'll be working on my back panel. The back effect that we did earlier on, I explained this in my previous video, and I'll be stitching this back effect with half inch sewing allowance. If you remember that we added 1 inch to the back pattern of this shirt in our previous video, so that 1 inch is actually what I'm sewing right now. I'm sewing on the fold now. That's 0.5 times 2. That will actually give us 1 inch. So the next thing now is to top stitch this back effect for it to give us what we actually needed. So if I top stitch now, you will actually see that the back effect is actually coming into the limelight. So I'll just run my stitch straight all the way to the end, just like this. So after then, I'll be placing my front panel on this back pattern, making sure that the front side of each pattern actually facing each other. So you don't want to make the mistake. Don't make the mistake and make the back side facing the front side, or doing it vice versa. I will just run my stitch all the way to the end with half-inch sewing allowance. Sometimes I use half-inch, sometimes 3/4, depending on the measurement that we did while we are cutting. So when we are cutting, we actually added half-inch, and this half-inch is what I'm actually sewing together. So once I do this, I will take it to my weaving machine, and I will weave out the edge of this shoulder. Then we'll come back to the straight lock and we'll start and we'll continue our stitching. So I've actually weave out all the rough edges along my shoulder line. So the next thing for me to do now is to top stitch the shoulder, just like this, making sure it is very tight. You know, when we are sewing, if you're actually sewing corporate shirt or a vintage shirt, you actually want to sew by maybe 1/4 inch or maybe half-inch sometimes. But right now, I'm not going to be sewing with 1/4, I'm not going to be sewing with half-inch. I will make sure it is very tight and close to the joining part of it. So the next thing for me to do now is to install my sleeves. I'll just place my sleeve, making sure the front side is actually facing each other. And I'll try to align it just like this, and I'll start stitching it up. As you can see, I will make sure I'm sewing by half-inch sewing allowance as per the calculation that we did earlier. So just like this, making sure the sleeve is actually aligning as I'm sewing all the way through to the head. So once I do that, I'll be doing the same thing on the other sleeve as well. Then we move on to the next part. So the next thing for me to do now is to go to my weaving machine, and I will weave out all the rough edges along my sleeve line. So I will make sure I'm weaving at 1/4 inch sewing allowance, just like this. As you can see that I'm actually trimming some rough edges to make sure my weave is actually close a little bit to the stitch that we made earlier. So once I do that, I'll be doing the same thing on the other sleeve as well. So I will be weaving the area where my side slit will be sitting. That's from the bottom part of the shirt. I will weave around 5 to 6 inches all the way from the down part up to 6 inches. I will do the same thing for all the side of my shirt. Then I will weave all the edges of my lapel allowance, both our front panel. I will weave it up. So now we go ahead and join our sleeve, starting from the sleeve all the way through to the hand. Then I'll measure my sleeve to be sure I have my 8 inches up there. So then I'll start my stitching, making sure the sleeve are aligned. Then the armhole, make sure you align the armhole on each other, make sure it doesn't intersect, make sure it is aligned. And I will just stitch all the way through to the hand. In case you want to learn about how we actually cut all these panels from scratch, you really need to watch the previous video that we dropped about this shirt earlier this week, so that you get acquainted with all the measurements that I used in the video. So once I'm almost at the edge of the weave, so I'll just measure my slit. The slit I'm using here is actually 5 inches distance from the bottom part of the shirt. Then I will stop my stitch there. As you can see, I'll do the same thing on the other part as well. Just make sure the sleeves are aligned on each other. Then I'll just stitch all the way through the armhole. Make sure you align the armhole just like this. Then I run my stitch all the way through to the hand, just like this. So once I'm almost at the edge of the weave that we did earlier for our slit, so I'll be measuring the same 5 inches like we did the other time. I'll be measuring 5 inches. Then I will stop my stitch at 5 inches. Then we now move to our straight lock machine to apply the effect of our side slit, just like this. So now the next for us to do now is to come and top stitch on the weave area to ensure to retain the quality and ensure the durability of our shirt. I'll just make sure I run my stitch very close to the weave, or the edge of the weave, all the way from the sleeve all through to my slit area, just like this. As you can see, I will align the bottom part of the shirt. Then I will continue my stitch. Once I'm at the end of at the beginning of the slits, I will apply my original slit measurements. For this video, I'm using 3.5. I'll just sew it and lock it just like this. So I'll be doing the same thing on the other sleeve as well. Then I'll move on to the next part. And the next thing for us to do now is to top stitch our sleeve to give it a good finishing, just like this. And I will do the same thing on the other sleeve as well. Now the next thing for us to do now is to apply our lapel effects. I'll be grabbing the front side of my shirt, and I will fold my lapel to the front side. This is how it is originally. Then I will fold it. As you can see that I've already notched it, so I will fold the notch area. I'll just fold it back, making sure the front side is actually facing each other, just like this. Then I will just drag it to my machine. Then I will stitch it up with 1/2 inch sewing allowance. Then I will stitch up to 1.5 inches for my lapel. Some people use 2 inches, some people use 2.5. But as for me, I don't want the lapel to be too big for it to have that professional look. Then I'll just measure 1.5 inch all the way from the edge of the lapel. Then I will sew it up to 1.5 inches, just like this. So I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. Then we move on to our ironing table, and then we iron it up and we do the hemming. So I will start working on the lapel allowance. I will make a knot at the end of the stitch of the lapel, just like this. Then I will trim out the edge. I hope you can see that. Then I will poke it out just like this, and I'll make sure I arrange the notch edge very well so that I can actually give me the allowance to press it very well. So once I got that, I'll just hold it down just like this. Then I will use my iron to secure the angle, just like this. As you can see, make sure you press it very well. So after then, I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. Then I will insert my hemming gum. Then I will gum the lapel. As you can see, just tucking your hemming gum just like this. Just make sure you arrange it very well so that your hemming gum is actually is leaning on the angle of the lapel. So once I got that right, then I will heat it up so that I'll be able to secure my lapel angle very, very well. Just as you see me doing, just like this. So make sure you press it very well. So once I achieve the angle, then I will insert my hemming gum in the rest of the lapel, making sure my hemming gum is leaning on the lapel angle, just as you see me doing. So once I achieve that, then I will be heating it up with a iron so that the hemming gum will actually gum my lapel. It doesn't necessary for you to place the hemming gum in all the lapel. Like this hemming gum is actually a 1 inch in size, so that 1 inch is actually okay for me. And if you feel like you actually want to use it, you want to double it to make it 2 inches so that it will actually fold the allowance that is on the lapel. There's no problem with that. But as for me, I just feel like it's okay for me like that. So I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well, just as you see me doing. So after that, we'll be moving on to the hemming part of the shirt. So here is the hemming part. Let me just try to press this area very well. So I'll be starting my hemming from the slit area of the shirt. From this angle, we actually, it's an 1/2 inch, and I will just, open it up just like this so that I can able to fold it and it will be flat. I will just hold it down and press it to secure the angle first. So after then, I will be inserting my hemming gum. Then I will heat it up so that I can actually achieve my slit just like this. Trying to press it very well. Just take your time to press it very well. Don't mind my iron. That iron is actually older than me. So just press it down. Then once I achieve the angle, and I think it's okay like this, So I'll be inserting my hemming gum at this junction so that I can actually achieve, the angle as best as possible. Just take your time. So I'll be grabbing my hemming gum now, then I will be fusing it in, just as you see me doing, just like this. Make sure you insert it very well. I trimmed that edge off because I didn't want it to mess up with my iron, so that is why I trim it off. So here also I'll put it in just like this, then I will trim off that edge, as you can see. So then I will heat it up. That thing is actually called Teflon. I'm very, very sure you know about that. So that will actually secure my the surface of my iron in order not to mess up with the hemming gum. And sometimes we use it when we're actually making a hip press, like transferring a design on your t-shirt and stuff like that, so that your hip press doesn't mess up with your design. So that is Teflon though. Then I'll be doing the same thing on the other side of the slit. As you can see that I just fold it like this. Where's my iron? Just okay. I'm just trying to fold it very well. You really need to take your time in order to achieve a great finishing. Alright, so I'll be folding it just like this, then I will press it down. Alright, just like this. So once I achieve the angle, I will be inserting my hemming gum just like we did on the first slit. Alright. So I'll just press it just like this. I actually want to change my iron at this junction. That is why you actually experience a little pause from the video. So I want to change my iron, so I've plugged my industrial iron so that I can achieve I want it to hit very well, so that's why I'm changing the iron. So I will be inserting my hemming gum at this area, then I will just insert it at the slit just like we did on the first slit. So be very, very precise with the okay, let's put it in just like this. I hope you're getting it. And if you are enjoying this video, please subscribe to this channel and turn your notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new video. And if you have any comment whatsoever, or you have any question, please let me know in the comment section, and I'm gonna provide your solutions to that. So I'll just eat it very well, and after then we'll move on to the bottom of the shirt. That's the hemming of the shirt. So we're actually gonna go work on that as well. So let me just try to heat this up first before we move on to the next part of the video. It's like this. You can see that it has actually heated up, as you can see. So we move on to the bottom part of the shirt. So we do the same thing that we just did, but the only difference here is that I'll be folding 1 inch, based on the calculation that we did on the first video. So 1 inch is our sewing allowance that we give the shirt. So if you're actually using 2 inches, that is that's left to you. But as for this video, we used 1 inch as per the calculation that we did on the first part of the video. Then I'll just fold 1 inch up, then I will just use my iron to first of all secure the angle before I place my hemming gum and I heat it up. So just like you see me doing. So this hemming, I'm gonna be doing this hemming with my taping machine. I hope you know about that. So the same way we did for the sleeve, so it's the same thing we're gonna be doing for the down part of the shirt. But if you don't have this taping machine, you can actually use your weaving machine to first of all weave the bottom part of the shirt first before you now come to the ironing table and start inserting your hemming gum before you heat it up. So I'm going to be placing my hemming gum just like this. Then I will heat it up in order to secure the down part of the shirts, just how to see me doing. So the next thing that I'm going to be doing right now is to be working on my collar side of shirts. So I'll first of all measure around the neckline. So the measurement I get is the one I'm going to be using for my collar. So though this shirt is actually stretchy, but you need to take your time if you're also working on a type of shirt like this. So I got 14 inches right there. So I'm going to be remeasuring again. So you can measure it 2 times, 3 times, depending on you. So then you actually want to conclude on the right measurements you are using. So for me, I'm using 14 inches. I'm remeasuring for the last time. So I will just make sure I'm very precise with the measurements. Just have to take your time and make sure you are getting the right measurements. That's 14 inches, right? So I'll be grabbing my interface. So this interface is called BFF. I don't know what you call it, but as for me, for here, we are calling BFF here. So I'll be cutting out 14 inches from this. Let me just try it. Okay. So the wideness of my collar will be 14 inches. Then the height, I'm always, I'm used to 3 inches height. All right. So some people use 2 inches. Some people use 1.5. I've seen some shit like that, but the collar is very tiny. But as for this shirt, so I'm going to be using 3 inches for the height. Then the wideness, I'm going to be using the wideness that I got on the neckline of the shirt. So my neckline here, the wideness I got here is 14 inches. As you can see, that's 14 inches. Then I will just mark it just like this. So 3 inches and 3 inches here. So So just, and also 3 inches. Then I will trim out, that is 14 by 3 or 3 by 14 depending on you. So then I'll be grabbing my the material that I want to be using for this collar. So the wideness of this material is around 8 inches. Sorry, the height is 8 inches. Yeah, 8 inches. So I'll be folding that into 2, making sure the front side is facing each other, just like you see me doing. I'll just first, create that angle at the top of it. So that's the essence of me, folding it into 2, just like this. So I actually want to secure an angle at the top part of it so that I can actually place my interface rightly. So I'm placing it now. So from the angle at the top, I just place it, making sure it doesn't come down and it doesn't exit the folding, just like this. So once I achieve that, I'll be placing my Teflon and then I'll heat it up. So after then, let me heat up this area as well. So after then, I will just fold it up right here. Our collar height is 3 inches, and if you multiply 3 inches by 2, you actually get 6 inches, right? So then you add 1 inch extra allowance, that makes it 7. But for me here, the material I'm using here, it is 8 inches, and once I fold it into 2, I'll be getting 4 inches each. So when I now place my interface for the collar, so the remaining ½ inch or 3/4 inch is what I'm actually folding, just like this. You really need to take your time in order for you to get the best angle as best as possible. As you can see that I'm actually using my cold iron, to secure the angle after I use my hot iron to press it up. So I'll be using that cold iron to just heat it up in order for me to achieve that angle very well. So once I do that, as you can see, you trim it off, then we go on to our straight lock machine and we go and start stitching up the edge. Then just try and press the interface very well. So the work of that interface is just for you to give me a guideline of the right measurements of my collar. It doesn't add up to the weight, it doesn't add up to the thickness, but it's just for me to though it gives the collar a little bit of a steeze, but not that much. But the only thing I wanted to do for me here is to give me the guideline of where I'm going to be stitching, of my collar measurements. So I'll be stitching that up right now. So I'll be stitching it just like this, very close to the interface. So once I do that, I'll be doing the same thing on the other side as well. So after then, I will turn it to the right side, then I will go and heat it up on my ironing table, just like this. But before then, I will first of all trim off these edges, trim off the edge just like this, and I will just create a notch there and here too, so that I can actually be able to turn it just like this. So and I'll turn the other side as well. So I will go and press it up on the ironing table in order for me to get the best angle as best as I can. So now I've gone to press it up, and here is the result. As you can see, it is very, very flat and very, very neat. So the down part now, I will just trim off some excess because I only want ½ inch right there. I'll just trim around quarter inch away, or sometimes half inch, depending on you. So I just need a little sewing allowance there, not that much, just a little sewing allowance that I'll be using to sewing it on my neckline. So I will create a notch at the back of my shirts. So in order for me to align the collar very well, to give it an even distribution, that's why I'm making this notch now. So I'll just let me trim off this area, then I will notch it just like this. So now we'll be facing our collar from the left side of the shirt. As you can see, as I place the shirt, I will first of all secure my collar here at the left side. At the right side. At the right side of the shirt, I'm going to be securing this part. Then I will move on to the other part. Alright, the other left part. So I will now start my stitching proper, just like this. Make sure you align your collar edge on that notch area. Alright, make sure it doesn't exceed and it doesn't come in. So make sure it is very, very aligned. So I'll be grabbing my shirt like this, then I'll make sure I align the neckline with the allowance on the collar, just like this. Make sure it is evenly distributed. This material is very, very stretchy, like it is very, very stretchy. So this material is called a grudge material. Some call it scuba, some call it but it is somehow elastic, like our normal t-shirt and all our polos. So that is why I need to take my time and make sure I have an evenly distributed collar. So once I do that, I'll be tucking in the half inch under my collar, just like this. Make sure you tuck it very well. Make sure you tuck it in very well, and make sure it is very, very close to your neckline. Take your time to arrange this very well. So once I achieve this, I'll be securing it with a needle, just like this we'll be doing. Then I will start my stitching. Alright, so you need to take your time very well. So I'm stitching at the edge of the collar right now, just as you see me doing. So if you actually have a label, a branded label or a size label, this is an opportunity for you to put it at the middle. For me, I'm only using size label because this is a customized shirt for a clothing store, so they have their tag and their labels and all that they're going to be using on this shirt. So that is why I'm not putting my customized label on this shirt. I'm only putting the size tag. As you can see that I have a couple of these shirts, I have like 12 of it that I'm making for this clothing brand. So that is why I don't put my label. So once I'm at this junction, then I will just turn it up, then I will top stitch around the edge of the collar by quarter inch. Sometimes I don't usually top stitch around the collar. Once I just stitch up the neckline, sometimes I just leave it like that. But for this shirt and for this tutorial, I actually want to show you how you can actually top stitch around the collar, just like you see me doing. So I'll just stitch it up around, then come back to the first point, just like this. So we've actually achieved our collar. So the next thing now, which is actually, let me say the last part of this video now, is our hemming. So I'll be taking the shirt to my to the taping machine, and we're gonna go do the hemming of the bottom part. As you can see that this is actually coming out great. So we go do the hemming. As you can see, go do the hemming on our taping machine now. Then we're gonna come to the end of this video. Now let's work on the bottom part of the shirt. So everything is set. I just have to start stitching up my the bottom part of the shirt. So just like this. So I actually want to test the stitch of a machine before putting before starting sewing on the shirt. That is the reason why I do this. So once I believe that the machine is good for me to go with, then I'll just start stitching. So I'll be stitching on the edge, on the edge of the folding of my hemming. All right, so just like you see me doing. But if you don't have this taping machine, some people call it an interlock. If you don't have it, like I said earlier, you can actually weave the edge of the hem, and even on the sleeve you can actually weave it, then you gum it down, then you use your straight lock machine to just stitch it up. But as for me, in order for you to give it that standard, so that is the reason why I'm using this double needle interlock machine. So I'll just make sure my stitch is very straight and precise, just like you see me doing. If you're enjoying this video, please like this video, subscribe to this channel so that you get notified. Turn your notification bell so that you get notified so when I drop another video. And if you have any question, let me know in the comment section and I will provide you a solution. So once I got that, so I'll be closing my stitch with some few steps of my stitch, just like this. Then we're gonna go give it a good press on our ironing table, and boom, we done. Right, so let me just cut all the flying threads, and all right, as you can see, it's actually it's very, very neat. If you have this machine, I beg of you, you should make use of this machine on this type of shirt, because this shirt is like it is very thick, but not that too thick. It is thick and stretchy. All right, so that is the reason why I'm using this taping machine. But if I'm actually working with like vintage shirts and some executive material, I don't need to use my taping machine. All right, so get that right. I don't need to use my taping machine if I'm actually working with shirt material. But here, this one is not a shirt material, it is stretchy and thick, so that is the reason why I'm using my taping machine. So I'm just cut all those flying threads, then we go give it a good press. As you can see, look at the finishing of the shirts, look at the finishing, look at the collar. As you can see, look at the lapel, bro. This is actually it actually makes sense. So look at it, let me show you the back cape effect. As you can see, that back cape actually give it a top-notch design. So we've come to the end of this video, and if you watch this video to this very part, I want you to support this channel by subscribing to this channel, turn your notification bell, and like this video and drop your comments and let me know if you have any question whatsoever. So thank you all for watching, thank you for keeping it locked down, thank you for staying right there from the first part of this video to the second part, and we've come to the end of this episode today. And in these notes, I say thank you.